Alright, so this video will focus on 1.1. And the very first thing I want you to do before we get started is just look at these various angles and try to determine or estimate if you think they're greater or smaller than 90 degrees. The reason why I say that is whenever you look at any protractor, you're going to have two numbers when you line this up. And I'll show you in a second how to do that. But you can tell which number you're going to utilize based on if the number is greater or smaller than 90 degrees. So for instance, I look at this and I see 1 and 4 is greater than or are greater than 90 degrees. So I go through here, perfect. And the way that I measure this, of course, is I get my protractor out. And I'll take this out here, and I'm just going to line it up. And I'm going to take this and kind of go through, and it should be larger than 90 degrees. It's a little off because of my point that I'm starting at, but it's around 116, 117, and the answer is actually 118. So that's how I line this up. You kind of set this up here, and you move it over. Perfect here. So then I go, and boom. So I have 118, and that is how we use the protractor. So how can you use inductive reasoning to discover a rule in mathematics, and how can you then test that rule? So if I look here, I'm just going to give you an example. If I would measure this out, which you'll be able to do, let's just pretend that I'm looking at this triangle here, and I'm going to say the first angle is 60 degrees, the second angle is 60 degrees, and angle C, or the third angle, is also 60 degrees. Altogether, it equals 180 degrees, which is great, because every triangle should be 180 degrees. I then will go in and measure this one here, and let's just pretend, I'm going to make up numbers, but this looks like it's larger than 90, so I'm going to say that it's around, let's just say 95. This one here is going to be, let's just pretend it's around 30. My question is, how can I determine what angle B is without actually measuring it? So I could actually go through here and I could just put down an X, or in this case we'll put down plus B. And we know the whole thing equals 180, right? And we can go through and actually solve for this. And I want you to think about how can you solve for it? What would you actually do? And that's what this whole lesson is about. So utilizing this thing, knowing that all three angles equals 180 degrees, how can you then come up with an algorithm or some sort of structure to determine the third side always? So think about it for a second. And let's apply it here. So I know that I have one side that's 82, one side that's 27, and the third side that is X. And I want you to try to figure out what do you think that third side is equal to, and how did you get it? So hopefully what you were starting to think about was that you knew that it was 87. You knew the other one was 27. I made a mistake here. It was 82. The other one is 27. And then we know that there's an X term. So we'll say plus X. And remember, it's a triangle, so what do all three sides have to add up to? 180. We're going to add up these two sides here. So we have 82 plus 27. That'll be 109. So I'm going to say 109 plus X equals 180. And you could think about what plus 109 equals 180. And hopefully you come to the conclusion that it equals 71. And then if I take my protractor and actually measure this, it should be around 71 degrees. So you can do this with this one as well. With these two, you could also see, so it doesn't matter if it's a whole number or a decimal, it will always work. And then we're going to have some practices here. So I'm going to allow you some time, press pause, try to figure out what the various variables are equal to. Remember, if it's a little square here, that means 90 degrees. So I'll give you a moment to try to figure that out. All right, and what did you get? So we have 30 degrees here, 46, 20, and 53. If you have any questions, please make sure you come in and ask. So how do we get these things? I mean, you could say 109 plus what number equals 180, or we could start using this addition property of equality or subtraction property of equality. And let me show you how that will work. So if we go here and we have these here, I want you to try to solve it. And to go and get rid of the 7, I want to get X by itself. I have to add to both sides. This is the addition property. So I'm going to go through here. So I'm going to write the equation. I'm going to undo the subtraction by adding. And this is, again, the addition property of equality. So I'm adding 7 to both sides. X equals 1. So once I know X equals 1, I can plug that in here. So 1 minus 7 equals negative 6. That's how you check it. So negative 6 will equal negative 6. Do the same thing on this side. So it's addition here. I have to undo it. So you're going to do the opposite, which is subtraction. So it's the addition property. I'm sorry, yeah, the subtraction property of equality on this one because I'm subtracting now. So I'm going to subtract 3.4. And then we'll check it. This one here, is it the subtraction or the addition? Think about it for a moment. Yeah, it's a subtraction because I have to undo this addition. So then we're going to use this and we're going to start trying to do some other ones. So we're going to have a total of 6 of them. I'll give you a moment and I want you to try to think about what the answers will be. All right, hopefully you had a chance to work all of these out. Here are the various answers. If you're still not understanding this, make sure to come on in and get extra help. So there's some key ideas in addition to the addition property and subtraction, and that's the multiplication or the division. And the really important thing here to understand is that with the division, and if you divide by numbers, you just can't have 0 because you can't have like 5 divided by 0 because that's an undefined or there's infinite answers. So that's why it says C cannot be equal to 0. So let's give you some examples here to show you what this looks like. So if I have negative 3/4 n, I want to get rid of this 3/4, and I have to do the reciprocal, which is negative 4/3. So I'll do the reciprocal, negative 4/3 to both sides. Notice that I'm multiplying it, right? And then you get your answer of 8/3. And then we can plug this in and we can check it to see if it works or not. I'm then going to try my next one, which is pi divided by x equals 3 pi. Again, I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide by pi in this sense. So divide by pi on both of these. So I'm dividing, right? And then x equals 3. We can check it, and sure enough, 3 pi equals 3 pi. This one here, I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. So I would get negative 28. In this one, I'm going to divide both sides by, divide both sides by pi. So I have x by itself, and that's how I got 6. And in this case, I'm going to try to take 1.8 divided by 0.09, and I get 20. Then go through and try to figure out this one. Now, you can do it a couple of ways. You could solve it the way we've been doing it, where you undo something first and solve for k. And how that would be written, just so you know, is it would be like, let me write it over here, k plus 4. I think this is easier to see. Divided by 0.2 equals 5. So what I would do first is I would kind of go through and I'd multiply this side by 0.2 and multiply this side by 0.2. And now I'm going to have k plus 4 equals, and 5 times 0.2 is 1, right? And then I want to get k by itself. So now I have to do that subtraction property of equality. So I'm going to subtract both sides, and I'll have k equals negative 3. So the first thing I had to do is I had to multiply both sides by 0.2, right? And then I had to do the subtraction property of equality. And I have k equals negative 3. And I can now check this to make sure it makes sense. So negative 3 plus 4 is 1, right? And 1 divided by 0.2 equals 5. So that's how you check it. So try giving this one a try. And there we go. There's the answer. Try doing this one. So again, I like writing it out. I don't like seeing it like this. It's harder for me. I don't know why. It's just harder for me to visualize. But if I have like the p minus 8 over 0.5, or 1/2, equals negative 3. This is much easier for me to multiply both sides by 0.5, and then I will add 8 in this case to solve for it. So try doing all of these. And here are the answers. And that is the presentation.